I was in the living room, headset on, fingers flying over the controller, when I heard her voice from the kitchen. "Jake, do you have a minute?" Elaine called, her tone cheerful, but there was always something underneath it, like syrup over glass. I muted the game. "Yeah, what's up?" She walked in, carrying a tray of cookies. "I thought I'd bring you some. You've been cooped up all morning." I glanced at the cookies, then at her. "Thanks." I took one, nibbling carefully. "You didn't have to." "Well, I like feeling helpful. This house, it's supposed to be comfortable for everyone, isn't it?" She smiled, but I caught the tilt of her head, the way she lingered by the doorway. I set the cookie down. "Yeah, it is." I tried to keep my voice steady. "Dad always wanted it that way. Your dad loved this place, didn't he?" Her eyes softened, almost tender. "I hope I can honor that. You know, the house, it's technically mine now, too." I froze, a rush of heat to my chest. "What do you mean? Yours too?" Elaine tilted her head again, placing the tray on the table. "I just mean, with my marriage to your father, it's not entirely yours, Jake. It's complicated." I blinked. "Complicated how?" She leaned against the counter. "Well, legally, you live here, but ownership, that's a little trickier. You wouldn't want me to feel unwelcome, would you?" I swallowed, trying to force calm. "I didn't say that. I thought this was my home." "It is," she said softly, almost like a lullaby. "But some things, like furniture or personal items, we might need to discuss." I forced a smile. "Like what?" Her smile widened, subtle and sharp at once. "Oh, nothing yet. Just small things. Ryan will be here soon, and I thought it'd be nice if he felt at home too." My stomach sank. Ryan, her son. She hadn't mentioned him before. "He's coming over?" "Yes," she said, casual. "I thought it'd be good for him to visit. Maybe use the gaming setup you've got in your room. I know how much he loves games." I blinked, heart thumping. "My setup? It's a big console and nice PC. Perfect for him while he's here." She gave me a look, patient, almost coaxing. "I hope you understand. It's only temporary, of course." I nodded slowly, though my hands itched to pull the cords out and tell her it wasn't up for debate. "Sure, temporary." She patted my shoulder. "Good. You're so understanding, Jake. I appreciate that." I left the living room for my room, leaving the headset on the table. I couldn't stay focused on a game anymore. Everything felt off, like someone had turned the colors slightly wrong. My room smelled faintly of Dad's old cologne. I touched the old posters on the wall, the ones he had put up years ago before he passed. I clutched the controller, then put it down again. Memories of him laughing at my terrible aim in games came back, filling the quiet room. I heard her call again from downstairs. "Jake, Ryan's in the car. Are you ready?" "Yeah," I muttered. Ryan came in a few minutes later, dragging a backpack and wearing the smug grin of someone who thought the world owed him something. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual. "You must be Ryan." "That's me," he said, voice high-pitched. "Mom said I could try her new game." I clenched my fists, forcing a smile. "Sure, the game's over there." I pointed to my setup, wondering if it would feel like mine when he touched it. Elaine appeared at the doorway, holding a water bottle for him. "Go ahead, sweetie." "Jake, thank you again for letting him try it." I nodded, my voice tight. "No problem." Elaine smiled, lingering a second too long before she left. "Make yourselves comfortable," she said, her voice trailing down the stairs. I watched her go, feeling that gnawing twist in my stomach. I sat at the edge of the chair, staring at the screen. This was supposed to be my sanctuary, the last thing connecting me to my dad. Now it felt borrowed, like someone else had already marked it. Ryan plopped into the chair without waiting for an invitation, humming at the screen. I forced my jaw to unclench. I would not let this break me. Not yet. "Hey," I said finally, keeping my tone casual. "Do you even know how to play this?" "Of course," he said, smirking. "I watch a ton of streams." "Streams don't mean you actually get it," I muttered. "You'll lose." "I bet I'll beat you," he said, eyes glinting with challenge. I smirked despite myself. "We'll see." And as he laughed, I felt the spark of something I hadn't felt in a while. Determination. This house, this game, this life my dad left me, I wasn't ready to give any of it away. Not to her, not to Ryan, not to anyone. I kept my laptop open late into the night, fingers moving fast, heart hammering. Every conversation, Every little kind comment from Elaine, I documented. Notes, screenshots, voice memos, everything. Jake. Leo's voice crackled over the headset. Still up? I have to. I muttered, not taking my eyes off the screen. She's planning something, Leo. I can feel it. Planning what? Everything. Moving my stuff, playing favorites with Ryan. She's smart. Too smart. I need proof. Okay, slow down. You're acting like a spy. Maybe I am, I said. Except this isn't fun. It's my life. I leaned back and noticed the chair creak behind me. Ryan was already there, smirking, hands on my PC. Hey, he said, nudging the keyboard. This mouse is amazing. I can't believe you've been hogging it all this time. It's mine, I said, voice tight. Everything here is mine. Oh, come on, he said, flopping into the chair. Mom said I could use it. I'm just trying it out. You're stealing it. I snapped, pacing. I built this. You can't just. Elaine's voice floated from downstairs, annoyingly calm. Jake, remember to be nice to your brother. He's excited. It's only for today. Only for today. I repeated, grinding my teeth. That's exactly what you said yesterday. She didn't answer, of course. That was her tactic. Wait until I exploded, then smile like nothing happened. I turned to Ryan. You know, you could at least respect it. Dad wanted me to have this space. It's my sanctuary. He shrugged. Sanctuary? Dude, it's just games. Chill. Just games. I hissed. It's memories, Ryan. Dad and I, this was our thing. He blinked, finally catching a glimpse of guilt. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't mean to. I exhaled, pinching the bridge of my nose. I know you didn't, but it still hurts. Sorry, he mumbled, retreating slightly. I sank into my chair, staring at the screen. Leo, I don't think she knows I'm noticing everything. Screenshots, memos, voice recordings. I can build a case against her if I need to. Good, Leo said. Play it smart. Don't let her know you're onto her. I won't, I said. I've even found something. Legal loopholes. Dad's will is weird. Some things aren't as airtight as she thinks. What do you mean? I mean, there's wording. Like she has some rights, but not full control. I can reclaim stuff if I push it the right way. Leo whistled. Jake, you're really going all out. I have to, I said. If I don't, she'll take everything, including me. The next day at school, I tried to focus, but every ping of my phone made my stomach tighten. She texted me a picture of Ryan playing on my setup, grinning like he owned the world. Unbelievable, I muttered, staring at the screen. He's flaunting it. You okay? Leo asked over voice chat. Not really, I admitted. I can't concentrate in class. I can't concentrate anywhere. She's taking over. Then fight smart, he said. You got a plan? Execute it slowly. Make her slip. I sighed. I can't let her see me sweat. If she notices, she'll change tactics. Exactly. Patience. That night, I went downstairs to grab water and overheard voices in the kitchen. Elaine and some lawyer were talking. He's a minor. Yes, but we can file for eviction if he doesn't cooperate, Elaine said. It'll take time, but it's possible. I froze, my heart pounding. Eviction? She was planning to kick me out. Eviction, the lawyer said. It's extreme. Are you sure? Yes, she replied. I can't let him dictate everything. He needs boundaries. This house isn't his alone. I ducked behind the doorway, gripping the counter for balance. Rage, fear, disbelief, all twisted together. She wasn't just taking my things. She was trying to erase me. I pulled out my phone, texting Leo. She's planning something bigger. Eviction. We need to act. His reply came instantly. Got it. Keep your cool. Document everything. We'll stop her. I exhaled slowly, trying to calm down. I couldn't panic. Not now. Every move I made had to count. Ryan wandered and then, humming, completely oblivious to my eavesdropping. Hey, I'm still winning at this game. Want to watch? I swallowed the lump in my throat. Not now, I said. I have other stuff to do. He frowned. Boring. Mom said I could play whenever I want. Yeah, I know, I said quietly, forcing calm. Just later. Once he left, I returned to my laptop, fingers flying over the keys. Notes, loopholes, plans. Elaine had underestimated me. I wouldn't make that mistake twice. By the time the lights went out, I had a folder of evidence, a rough strategy, and one burning thought. I was done being powerless. I came down the stairs to find Elaine rearranging my gaming setup. My console, my PC, even my headset, everything I'd saved up for, all of it being moved like it was some kind of shared toy. "Elaine, what are you doing?" I asked, my voice tighter than I intended. "Oh, Jake," she said, spinning to face me with that infuriatingly sweet smile. "I thought Ryan could try your setup today. He's been asking, and I figured it's easier if it's here." I stopped in the doorway, hands clenched. "Try it. That's my PC, my console, everything here is mine. You can't just give it to him." "Well," she said, tilting her head, "he's my son. And technically, as part of this house, I can decide some things." I felt my stomach drop. "Technically? Mom, this is my house, my dad's legacy. You can't just—" "Oh, Jake," she interrupted, softer now, almost cooing. "I know it feels harsh, but you must understand, I'm trying to make it fair. Ryan deserves a little fun, too. It's not permanent." I gritted my teeth. "It's not about fairness. It's about respect. You can't just take what's mine." Elaine shrugged, calm as ever. "I'm not taking it, sweetie. He's only borrowing. Temporarily. Don't make it into a big deal." I shook my head. "You don't get it. You're erasing my memories, my dad's, everything he left me. This was mine." She put a hand on my shoulder. I know. But you'll forgive me, won't you? You've always been so understanding." I yanked my shoulder free. "Forgive you? Elaine, you just handed my gaming setup to your son. How do you expect me to forgive that?" "You'll see it differently in time," she said, almost like she was teaching a lesson. "You'll understand. He's part of this family now." I stormed into my room, slamming the door behind me. My hands shook as I stared at the empty desk where my setup used to sit. I felt like my dad was watching me, disappointed. The next morning, I tried talking to a few neighbors, hoping someone might side with me, just a little. "Hey, Mr. Jacobs, did you hear about Elaine letting Ryan use Jake's gaming setup?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "Oh, I think it's wonderful," he said, smiling warmly. "Ryan's just a kid, and she's such a thoughtful mother. Jake, you're lucky she's being generous." "Lucky?" I laughed bitterly. "Generous? You mean stealing my stuff?" He blinked. "Oh, come now. She's your stepmom. You'll get used to sharing eventually." I walked away, jaw tight. Even the adults were on her side. My sanctuary felt smaller, like the walls themselves were pressing in on me. I grabbed my phone and called Leo. "Hey man, you busy?" "Not really," he said. "You sound like you've already had a bad morning." "Bad morning?" "Leo, she took everything. She gave my game to her son. Everything I worked for." "Wait, what? She what?" His voice jumped an octave. "No way." "Yes way," I said, pacing. I confronted her. She smiled like a saint and told me it was temporary, that I'd understand later. Temporary. Temporary. My dad, my memories, my voice cracked. "Whoa, breathe," Leo said. Okay. First, don't panic. Second, what can we do?" "What can we do?" I echoed, fist tight. "I can't call the cops. It's technically legal because she's married to my dad, and somehow that makes everything hers too. Everyone's siding with her, Leo. I feel trapped." "Okay," he said slowly. "So you're trapped, and she's a snake. I get it. But maybe we don't fight her head on. Maybe we play smarter." I stopped pacing. "Play smarter? Like what?" "Gather proof, document everything. Small things that show she's manipulative. Keep it under the radar. You don't need to confront her yet. Make her slip." I chewed on that, my chest tight. "You mean like revenge?" "Not exactly revenge yet," he said. "Justice. Smart, slow, satisfying. You're better than yelling. You can win without losing your mind." I exhaled sharply. I hate this. I hate feeling powerless in my own home. "You're not powerless," he said. "You just need a plan. And I'm here. We'll figure it out together." I leaned against the wall, my stomach still twisting. Leo was right. I couldn't rely on adults. Not neighbors, not teachers, not lawyers. This was my battle. "I won't let her take everything," I said, almost whispering to myself. "She won't erase my dad, my memories, my game. I'll get it back. Everything she took from me. I'll make it right." Leo chuckled softly through the phone. "That's the spirit, man. Start small, play smart. We'll make her regret underestimating you." I ended the call, staring at the empty desk. The room felt silent, almost waiting for me to act. And I would. Oh, I would. The betrayal had been served, but I wasn't broken. Not yet. Not ever. I got to school and already felt the weight of whispers. Did you hear about Jake? One girl said as I walked past. I stopped. Hear what? That he kicked Ryan out of the game room and yelled at his mom? Another voice added. I blinked, stunned. I didn't. Oh, come on, a guy sneered, nudging me. Everyone says you're just selfish, dude. Why even have a setup if you won't share? I clenched my fists, forcing calm. I've shared plenty before. Not with Ryan, the first girl said, shaking her head. Your stepbrother. Mom says you're ungrateful. I wanted to scream. Mom? Elaine said that. Oh yeah, pretty much everyone knows, another student said, smirking. I turned and walked away, heart racing. My dad's words came back. Jake, never let anger make decisions for you. Think first, act smart. I exhaled, gripping my backpack. I couldn't lash out. Not now. I had to be strategic. Later, in the cafeteria, Leo slid next to me. What's up? You look like someone stole your soul. She's spreading lies, I muttered, pushing my food around. Elaine. She's telling everyone I'm selfish, ungrateful. Even people I trusted are looking at me differently. Leo frowned. That's messed up. You okay? I'll survive, I said, though my chest tightened. But it's lonely. Then use that, Leo said, leaning closer. You're smarter than her. You just need to stay cool and document everything. I nodded slowly. I already started. Recording conversations, taking notes, everything. Good, Leo said. You can't fight lies with yelling. You fight them with proof. I smirked slightly. Exactly. Proof. Evidence. One slip from her, and it all comes down. That afternoon, I returned home to find Ryan sitting in my chair, headphones on, laughing at my game. Jake, he said, waving. Come watch. I just unlocked the new level. I forced a smile. Nice. Looks like you're getting pretty good. Yeah. Mom said I could practice whenever I want, he said, eyes shining. Thanks for letting me use it. You're welcome, I said carefully. Really? Hey, you're not mad? He asked, a hint of worry in his voice. I shook my head. No, it's okay. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Ryan relaxed, oblivious to the storm I felt inside. Cool. I think I might beat your high score soon. Maybe, I said, keeping my tone casual. But don't get too confident. I closed the door behind me once he left, letting my shoulders slump. Every interaction with him was a test, a chance to observe how Elaine manipulated him, and indirectly me. Later that night, I hid in the living room with my phone recording the kitchen. Elaine was talking, soft but sharp as ever. Jake's getting too comfortable thinking this house is all his, she said, laughing lightly. I'll remind him who's really in charge. Ryan needs to learn boundaries, too. I pressed record silently. This is it, I whispered to myself. Every word counts. Leo's message pinged. Everything okay? I typed back. Better. Evidence building. She's overplaying her hand. Overplaying? Leo replied. Careful. She's smart. I know. I texted back. That's why I'm being smarter. The next day at school, the whispers followed me again. Jake's really arrogant, someone muttered. I stopped, stared straight at them. I'm not arrogant. I just don't lie. They blinked, unsure, and moved on. A small victory. Back at home, I found Ryan sprawled across the couch, controller in hand. Hey, I said, want to practice together? Together, he said, eyebrows raised. You mean we play on the same team? Yeah, I said, careful to sound casual. It might be fun. He hesitated, then nodded slowly. Okay, that's actually cool. As we played, I kept an eye on him. Every smile, every mistake he made while trying to show off to impress me was information. I wasn't just teaching him the game. I was learning Elaine's weaknesses through him. Mom said you'd be mad at me, Ryan said suddenly, eyes down. I don't want you to be mad. I smiled faintly. I'm not. Really. Just careful, okay? Don't let anyone push you into doing things that cause trouble. He nodded. Okay, I get it. Later, as he left the room, I whispered, perfect, just as planned. I leaned back, reflecting. This betrayal wasn't just about games or house rules. It was about control, manipulation, perception. Elaine had underestimated me. I opened my notebook, fingers tracing the words I had written, conversations, actions, subtle manipulations, legal loopholes, everything. I whispered to myself, steady now, calm. I can't let anger guide me. I have to think, observe, and strike at the right moment. Patience, strategy, proof. That's how I win. I glanced at the door, listening for any sound of Elaine moving. Her voice, her tactics, her lies, they were all pieces on a board I intended to master. Ryan had become a tool, not a target. Elaine's arrogance was my opportunity. I smiled slightly, heart steady. She's clever, but I'm cleverer, and she doesn't even know it yet. I waited until the house was quiet before I started moving. Laptop open, phone buzzing with Leo's messages. I checked my plan one last time. Ready. Leo's voice came through the headset. More than ever, I muttered, fingers hovering over the keyboard. Tonight, we start small. Good, he said. Remember, subtlety. Let them think it's just coincidence. The impact hits harder that way. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. I've got it. The first step was simple, conversations. I casually mentioned Elaine's minor lies to a couple of friends at school. Just hints, nothing concrete. Hey, did you notice anything weird about what Elaine said yesterday? I asked quietly to a friend in the hallway. What do you mean? She said, brow furrowed. Just small stuff. Like how she acts like everything's hers when it's not. I said carefully, keeping my tone light. Oh, really? She said, eyes widening. I thought it was me imagining things. Maybe, I said, shrugging. But it seems off. By lunch, whispers had started to shift. Students who had been siding with her paused, uncertain. That small ripple felt like a tidal wave to me. Jake, everyone's talking, Leo said, voice low in my ear. It's working. Keep going. I know, I said, grinning despite myself. Just gotta be patient. Back home, I found Ryan sprawled on the couch again, controller in hand, laughing at my game. Mind if I join? I asked casually, sitting next to him. Sure, he said, smiling. Mom said it's okay. I glanced at him, pretending to focus on the game. Yeah, I figured she would. But we need rules, okay? Rules? Ryan asked, frowning. Just respect each other's space, I said lightly. I've noticed some things we can improve on. He nodded, trusting me completely. Unaware, I was also watching how he responded to Elaine's manipulations. His reactions were data. Later, Leo and I worked on the pressure campaign. Minor truths leaked to neighbors. Elaine favoring Ryan, dismissing my rights, acting like she was the only adult with a say in the house. I kept it subtle, just enough for people to notice without evidence that could be traced to me. She's acting so unfair, one neighbor said quietly to another. I know, the other replied. Poor Jake. It's not right. I heard it from my room, pretending to play my game. Satisfaction warmed me. Not revenge fully, but the first step toward reclaiming what was mine. A week passed. Small victories piled up. People who had doubted me were now quietly watching Elaine, noticing the cracks I had highlighted. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. Elaine called me into the living room. Jake, she said, voice calm but tense. I think it's time Ryan returns your setup. He's been using it enough. I froze for a second, letting it sink in. Then I smiled. Really? That's thoughtful of you. Elaine hesitated, scanning my face. Of course. I just want what's best for everyone. Of course, I said, hiding the victory in my tone. I appreciate it. I went to my room and found everything returned exactly as I had left it. Mouse, keyboard, PC, console, my sanctuary restored. I breathed a sigh of relief, but didn't let it show. The satisfaction was tempered by the knowledge that Elaine still controlled other parts of my life. Leo's voice came through my headset. Well, did it work? I grinned. Better than I expected. Setup's back. She's cracking, though I can still see the strings she's pulling elsewhere. Good. But don't get cocky, Leo said. She'll notice if you relax too much. I know, I said. I've learned my lesson. Patience is key. Observation, strategy, patience. The next day, I carefully monitored Elaine. She lingered around the house more, smiling tightly when I passed, asking casual questions that felt loaded. Jake, did you see Ryan's homework? She asked, voice light. Yes, I said, keeping my tone calm. I checked it this morning. Oh, she said, tilting her head. Good. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't slacking off. You're being so helpful. Of course, I said evenly. I like to help. I caught the slight twitch in her eyes as she smiled, pretending not to notice the glances I was giving her. Elaine was starting to realize I wasn't the naive kid she had manipulated. At school, rumors that had painted me as selfish faded slowly. Friends returned, curious and cautious, asking if I was okay. "I'm fine," I said. "Just busy." Leo nudged me privately. "You're doing great. Keep it quiet, subtle. The payoff is worth it." I nodded. "I know. Revenge isn't fun if it's loud. It's quiet, calculated, satisfying. And this is satisfying enough for now." Back home that evening, I overheard Elaine speaking on the phone. "I don't know why he's suddenly so careful. He's too clever," she said. I smiled to myself. Too clever, huh? She's realizing I'm not powerless. She laughed softly on the phone, but there was tension in it. I can't let him think he's winning. I need to regain control. I leaned against the doorframe, invisible, listening. This was exactly the confirmation I needed. She suspected me, but she didn't know the extent. Not yet. Later, Ryan wandered into my room. "You're okay with me playing?" I smiled gently. "Yeah, I know you didn't mean any harm. We just have to follow some rules, that's all." He nodded, relieved. "Thanks, Jake. I'll try to be better." "Good," I said. "That's all I want. Just respect." As he left, I exhaled and sat at my desk, fingers hovering over the keyboard. Every move I'd made had been strategic, every action calculated. I hadn't just reclaimed my setup. I'd shown that subtlety and patience beat brute confrontation. But revenge wasn't enough. I knew it. Satisfaction had come, yes, but my dad's voice echoed in my mind. "Jake, always remember, winning isn't enough. Understanding is." I stared at my reflection in the dark screen, thinking about what real closure would feel like. Patience had brought me this far, but the real test was yet to come. Elaine was powerful, manipulative, and cunning, but she wasn't invincible. And I wasn't a powerless kid anymore. I whispered to myself, calm but determined, "This is only the beginning." I heard a knock on my door late that night. "Jake, can I come in?" Ryan's voice was quiet, hesitant. "Yeah," I said, keeping my tone calm. "Come in." He shuffled inside, avoiding eye contact. I need to talk." "About what?" I asked, leaning against the desk, pretending to play my game. Ryan hesitated, then blurted out, "I didn't want to take your stuff. Mom, she made me." I felt like I had no choice. I froze, surprised by the confession. "You mean you were following her orders?" He nodded, looking guilty. "I know I messed up. I shouldn't have flaunted your game or acted like it was mine." I smiled faintly, controlling my excitement. "It's okay, Ryan. I get it. She's manipulative. Hard to see when you're in the middle of it. I respect you, Jake. I've always thought you were fair, smart, even when I didn't like you," he admitted, voice barely above a whisper. "That's unexpected," I said, hiding my surprise. "But I appreciate it. Honestly, it means a lot." Ryan's eyes darted to the floor. "I want to make it right. Can I help?" I thought for a moment, weighing the risk. "If you're serious, yes. But we need to be careful. No mistakes. One wrong move, and she'll know we're plotting." "Understand," he said, nodding firmly. "I won't mess up." "Good," I said. "First, we document everything together. Conversations, actions, everything. Your observations are important." Over the next few days, Ryan and I worked quietly, coordinating messages and notes. He revealed small things. Elaine's favoritism toward him, subtle manipulations with neighbors, even lies she spread at school. Every confession he offered was a piece of the puzzle I'd been building for months. One afternoon, we sat in my room, whispering. "She told Mrs. Caldwell I was slacking off and blamed me for your attitude," Ryan said, shaking his head. "I didn't even know she was telling anyone." "That's exactly the kind of thing we need," I said. "Proof she manipulates people, including her own son. It's undeniable." Ryan frowned. "You really think we can't expose her?" "I do," I said, "but not by yelling or being mean. We need control, subtlety, patience." He nodded. "I trust you, Jake." A week later, we set our plan in motion. I shared hints with neighbors and friends, just enough to create doubt without revealing everything. Then, during a casual dinner, Ryan spoke up. "Mom, I think you're lying about some things, he said carefully, tone respectful but firm. Elaine froze, staring at him. Ryan, what are you saying? I mean, I know you said Jake was selfish and ungrateful, but that's not true. He's fair, smart, and he's been documenting everything, Ryan said, glancing at me. I stayed quiet, letting him guide the moment. The room stiffened as neighbors visiting that evening exchanged glances. Elaine's lips pressed into a thin line. I don't know what you mean. Ryan shook his head. I mean that you've been manipulating everyone, Mom. Playing favorites, spreading lies, making us think things that aren't true. I could see the subtle tremor in her hands, the first cracks forming in her carefully maintained mask. Jake, he's right, I said finally, voice calm. We've been patient, but the evidence is clear. Your manipulation is affecting everyone here. And we're not the only ones who've noticed. Elaine's face paled, and for the first time, I saw fear. She opened her mouth, but no words came. Neighbors whispered among themselves, and I realized the tide had turned. For months, she had controlled perception, but now her credibility was slipping. Jake, I didn't, she began, but I cut her off gently. No need to explain, I said. Actions speak louder than words. We just need honesty now. Ryan nodded beside me. Yeah, honesty. That's all we want. Elaine looked around, realizing the social influence she had relied on was crumbling. I felt a wave of emotional catharsis, satisfaction that months of planning were paying off. But I kept my tone measured. Mom, this isn't about revenge, I said. It's about fairness, understanding. You can choose to fix this. She swallowed, voice trembling. I can't undo everything, Jake. I know I hurt you, but it's too late for some things, I said softly. Yet, it's not too late to start making the right choices. Ryan smiled slightly at me. See, we can work together. We don't need to fight. I exhaled slowly, thinking about the moral dilemma I faced. I could humiliate her completely, let everyone know everything she had done. But what satisfaction would that bring? Short-lived pleasure, maybe, but not real closure. Instead, I chose restraint, control, the satisfaction of victory without cruelty. Elaine, I said finally, we've won the right way. Proof is out there. People can see it. You've lost the control you relied on, but you still have a choice to do better. She looked at me, a flicker of regret in her eyes. I see that now. I don't know how to fix it. You start by being honest, I said. With everyone, and yourself. The room fell silent, filled with tension and the faint hum of possibility. I felt the weight of every betrayal, every lie, every stolen moment finally balancing. I glanced at Ryan. You've done well. Your honesty matters more than you know. He nodded, looking relieved. Thanks, Jake. I feel like I finally did the right thing. I smiled faintly, a mixture of satisfaction and reflection. This was more than reclaiming my game or my house. This was proving to myself that patience, strategy, and moral restraint could win where anger would have failed. I whispered quietly, almost to myself, this is the victory that matters. Not humiliation, not revenge. Respect, fairness, control, that's real power. Elaine stood there, silent, finally understanding that the tables had turned. And I finally felt the calm after the storm. I heard the door creak and knew it was her, Elaine, pacing, careful not to meet my eyes. Jake, can we talk? She asked, voice tight, almost pleading. I sat on the edge of my bed, pretending to focus on my console. Sure, I said calmly. What is it? I didn't mean for things to get this far, she said, wringing her hands. I thought I was helping Ryan. Helping you. Helping. I repeated, tone steady. By taking what's mine and spreading lies about me? She flinched. I didn't know how else to. Stop, I said, holding up a hand. It doesn't matter what you thought. Actions have consequences. People have seen the truth now. Elaine swallowed hard. I realized that. I've lost their trust. I never expected. Neighbors noticed, I said, glancing toward the window where voices murmured in the yard. Friends noticed. Ryan noticed. You've isolated yourself. She looked down, voice breaking. I understand. I see what I did now. I'm sorry. I sighed and set my controller down. Sorry doesn't fix the damage, but it's a start. You need to reflect, Elaine, and maybe learn humility. Ryan appeared behind her, hesitating. Jake, I'm sorry too, he said, eyes earnest. I shouldn't have taken your game. I shouldn't have listened without question. I nodded slowly, a smile forming. Thank you, Ryan. That means more than you know. I've seen your side, and I know you were caught at her web. But owning up, that shows real character. He breathed out, relieved. I just want us to be okay. To be honest with each other. You and I can start fresh, I said, voice steady. Rules are the same. Respect, fairness, trust. Ryan nodded. I can do that. I really can. Elaine stayed silent, watching us, a shadow of her former control. I felt no malice, only quiet observation. She was learning the hard way. Manipulation only lasts until people see the truth. Later, as I reclaimed my game and desk fully, I felt the weight of months lift. The room smelled like freedom. Every cable, every controller, every familiar item was mine again. But more than that, the peace of control returned. Leo's message buzzed through my phone. Heard everything went smoothly. Proud of you, man. I typed back. Yeah, subtlety, patience, it worked. Thanks for guiding me. Jake, can I ask something? Ryan said, leaning against the doorway. Sure, I said. Do you think Mom will ever change? Or will she always be like this? I paused, thinking. Elaine, she has the capacity to change, but she has to want it. We can't force it. What we can do is protect ourselves, support each other, and stay honest. That's what matters. He nodded slowly, absorbing the lesson. Yeah, I get that. I leaned back, reflecting. The house wasn't just walls and furniture. It was memories, legacy, and the life my father built. Elaine tried to twist that for her gain, but now the truth was restored. Not just physically, but emotionally. Later that evening, I walked through the living room where neighbors had gathered, murmuring apologies and quiet acknowledgments. Faces that once doubted me now offered small smiles. Some avoided Elaine entirely. Justice had been subtle, but it had arrived. Elaine stayed near the kitchen, isolated yet contemplative. I felt no triumph in cruelty. The real victory was understanding, resilience, and quiet control. I turned to Ryan. You ready to finish setting up the new game tournament? I asked, voice light. Yeah, he said, eyes bright. Let's do it together. We worked side by side, laughter mixing with strategy. It felt right, balanced. For the first time in months, I felt the storm inside me settle. Later, alone, I sat on my bed, looking at my reflection in the dark screen. The past months replayed in my mind. Betrayal, lies, manipulation, anger, patience, strategy. Each moment had taught me something vital about people, trust, and myself. I whispered softly, almost to the empty room. I've survived the storm. I've learned patience, restraint, and resilience. Revenge isn't sweet, it's fleeting. Understanding and control, that's real victory. The moonlight spilled across the room, illuminating my game setup, my desk, and my sanctuary. I felt older, stronger, calmer. I had faced betrayal, executed subtle justice, and emerged wiser. I exhaled slowly, heart steady, voice low. This isn't just about the game or the house, it's about life. Trust carefully, act wisely, and never let anger dictate your path. Ryan peeked in again. Jake, you okay? I smiled softly. I am. More than okay. Ready for the future, ready to protect what matters, ready to grow. He smiled back. Glad to hear that. I leaned back, eyes on my restored setup, and thought about the lessons learned. Betrayal can be survived, patience pays off, and restraint is more powerful than anger. Elaine's consequences were visible, Ryan's growth tangible, and I, finally, stood in the calm aftermath, emotionally resilient, wiser, and prepared for whatever came next. The house was mine again, but more importantly, I was in control of myself. That was the real victory.